Okie dokie. So, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at making some steam come out of someone's face, someone's mouth. So here's a picture. This is a good picture to take because we can easily see the steam direction. It's got a nice shape to it, and it's fairly opaque, which is the opposite of transparent. And it's a high quality one. I can zoom in quite a bit. I think it's about 2,000 pixels, so it's actually quite good. There's a little bit of grain there, but it's a big picture. The important thing is that the steam looks good, which it does because it's the main focus of this. And then I'm also going to have another picture. If I can find it. Oh, and it's going to be this woman who is a good choice because we're going to make it the steam as if it's coming out of her mouth. So there's a couple of things we need to take into consideration. So the very, very first thing we could do is go into this one, press F7 to make sure we can operate on this layer. Take the padlock off, which I just did, and you can go, first of all, just basically like roughly just like cut out all the areas out of it. I'm just dodging the yellow of the lamps. It'll be obvious why in a second. And any of the white of the hair. So select inverse, get rid of that. So now we're just concentrating on steam. Now the reason I dodged some of those lights is because I'm going to go select color range, and as you can see, this little window comes up, and then it's got all these things that we can select. So we can select the background or this. So just look over here, and you can see that as long as you're going sample colors, so you're not concentrating on reds or greens, which there are none, magentas, which there are none, or yellows, which there's a little bit, or highlights, which there's many. But we're just going to do what's called sample colors, which means you decide with your mouse what you decide to cut. Now, a special trick is holding down Shift as you select different areas within the smoke, and as you see, it's getting a little bit larger. It's probably at its most, I think I've pretty much captured everything now by holding down Shift. And as you can see, I've selected some things that I don't really want, but you could include them anyway. If you ever don't want to include something, you can just press this using the quick selection tool, or Alt to get areas back if you want as well. But in actual fact, I was quite happy with the selection before. We get some of those areas. Actually, no, I'm going to start that again. So Command D. So let's go through this. Select color range. Straight from the get-go, it's already trying to choose the grey, which is good. I've selected the outermost areas and then the inmost areas. Cool. So there's the shape in my preview, and I'm going to go along with that. Now there's some areas I've missed out. I'm going to see how much this changes when I put into here. Now another thing we're going to do here is we're going to change the canvas size. I want it to be a lot larger. The width. Oops, wrong way. Because in a second I'll show you why. And we could, while we're at it, we'll use the magic wand tool, we'll select all of the black and some of the grey. Quick selection tool to get that back. And Alt to get anything back that we didn't want. There we go, cool. And I'm actually going to remove all of that, and also on this side, and then you can use the magic wand tool. This isn't necessarily what you need to do, but this was quite a good picture. The pose wise was quite useful, I felt. But I am gonna get some of that back anyway, and it'll be obvious why, because what we want to do with this is make it seem quite strange that, oh, we don't need to worry anyway, but so there's the steam, and as you can see, it's a lot smaller, and that's no good for us. So what we're going to do is that I can just very easily put in a background of black around here, which will be a good offset. There we go. And I'm going to select this. So this is the steam. Right, so Control T or Command T to change the size. Hold down Shift to keep it in ratio. It's kind of coming from the wrong direction, I feel. So what we can do is we can go Edit, Transform, flip horizontal, and now it's coming out the other way. Yeah, so now we can have it kind of coming out through there. But obviously it seems a bit too fake, so we need to decrease the opacity a bit so that it's kind of like coming out a little bit transparently. We might be able to make it a bit bigger, a bit more realistic. And now we can kind of see through it. That's probably a more realistic sort of look for it. And now we're going to flatten that, and I might just use the this tool to just sort of like change the angle a little bit, which kind of like changes the whole composition. So now I'm a bit more happy with that. So there you go. There's steam coming out of the mouth, and the cool thing that it could be on a really hot day, which again makes the steam coming out of our mouth seem quite strange and unusual.